Olivia had worked in the Anna family mansion for 4 years. She was not the loud type. She did her work quietly, with clean hands and a calm face. Every morning, she swept the long corridors until the marble floor shined. She arranged flowers in tall vases. She washed expensive plates until they looked new again. People in the house hardly noticed her, and Olivia was used to that. Mrs. Anna, the owner of the mansion, was known in the city. She was wealthy, powerful, and always strict. She liked everything perfect. Perfect meals, perfect curtains, perfect silence. So Olivia learned to move like air. That evening, heavy rain fell on Abuja like the sky was pouring out buckets. The wind pushed the trees around the mansion and made the gate rattle. The security men at the gate wore raincoats and stood with their hands behind their backs. Inside the mansion, everything felt warm and safe. Olivia was finishing her last task in the kitchen when she heard a faint voice outside. At first, she thought it was the rain, but the voice came again, weak and shaking. "Please, water." Olivia froze. She wiped her wet hands on her apron and moved slowly to the back window. The kitchen window faced the compound gate, though it was far. She squinted through the rain. There, beside the tall gate, was a woman. The woman looked old. She was thin. Her clothes were dirty and torn, clinging to her body because of the rain. Her hair was scattered, and she hugged herself like she was trying to stop her bones from breaking. The security men did not move toward her. They just watched her like she was a problem they did not want. Olivia's chest tightened. She remembered how hunger felt, not the hunger of missing breakfast, but the hunger that made your head spin and your hands shake. She had felt it before, long ago, when she was younger and life was hard. She looked around the kitchen. The cooks had already gone to sleep. The lights were dim. Only the fridge humming and the rain noise filled the space. Olivia whispered to herself, "She will die out there." She opened the food warmer and took 2 meat pies that were meant for the family's midnight snack. She poured water into a clean bottle. Then she went to the storeroom and picked a small blanket, one of the old ones used for wiping chairs during dust. Her heart beat fast. Helping someone was not allowed in that house. Mrs. Anna hated strangers. She always said, "The world is dangerous. You can't trust anybody." But Olivia could not close her eyes and ignore a human being in pain. She pulled a scarf over her head and stepped out through the back door. The rain hit her immediately. Cold water rushed down her face and soaked her clothes in seconds. The wind pushed her almost off balance. She ran across the compound, keeping the food and bottle under the blanket to protect them. When she reached the gate, the woman lifted her head slowly. Her eyes were red from cold, her lips were pale, her hands trembled. Olivia knelt beside her, placing the blanket over her shoulders. "Please," Olivia said softly, "eat small. Drink water." The woman stared at her like she could not believe it. Then she began to cry. Not loud crying, just quiet tears mixing with rain on her cheeks. You are kind," the woman whispered. "Even in a house like this." Olivia gave a small, sad smile. "I'm just doing what I can." The woman took the bottle with shaking hands and drank slowly. Then she ate the meat pies like each bite was saving her life. Olivia watched her closely. Something about the woman's face stood out. Even though she looked rough and dirty, there was a sharpness in her eyes, like someone who had seen much and understood much. Olivia did not know why, but it made her uneasy. Before Olivia could speak again, a loud voice cut through the rain. "Olivia!" Olivia's body stiffened. She turned slowly. Mrs. Anna stood under the porch light, holding an umbrella. Her face was hard, like a stone. 2 guards stood behind her. The security men at the gate quickly faced front, pretending they had not seen anything. Mrs. Anna walked closer, her heels clicking even on wet ground. Her eyes dropped to the bottle, the food wrapper, and the blanket on the homeless woman. Then she looked at Olivia with anger. "So this is what you do with my food," she snapped. "You sneak out at night like a thief." Olivia stood up, shaking. Madam," she said, voice trembling. "She was hungry. She was cold. I couldn't—" Mrs. Anna lifted her hand sharply. "Enough," she shouted. "You have no business helping strangers. Do you know what kind of people roam at night? Criminals, liars, people looking for chance." The homeless woman lowered her head and said nothing. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, madam," she whispered. "I only wanted to help." Mrs. Anna's voice became even colder. "You want to help? Then help yourself. You are fired. Tonight." Olivia gasped. "Madam, please." Mrs. Anna turned to the guards. "Take her inside. She should pack her things and leave before morning." Olivia felt like the rain had entered her chest. She looked at the homeless woman who still sat quietly under the blanket. Olivia wanted to say something, but her throat was blocked. She turned and walked back into the mansion, shaking from cold, fear, and heartbreak, while behind her the rain kept falling like nothing had happened. Olivia packed her things that same night. Her small box of clothes sat on the floor of the staff room. 2 dresses, 1 pair of shoes, her slippers, and a small nylon bag holding a Bible and a cracked phone. That was all she owned. Her hands shook as she folded her uniform for the last time. Outside, thunder rolled again. The rain did not stop. The whole mansion felt cold, even though the lights were bright. A guard stood by the door, watching her like she was a stranger. Olivia's throat burned. 4 years of waking early, working late, keeping quiet, and obeying rules ended in one night. She kept hearing Mrs. Anna's words in her head. "You are fired. Tonight." Olivia carried her box to the main entrance. Her wet hair still dripped water. Her eyes were swollen from crying, but she tried not to sob loudly. She did not want them to laugh at her. Mrs. Anna waited in the living room, sitting on a wide leather chair. She looked calm, like she had just punished a child and felt proud of it. The guards stood around her like walls. Olivia stopped and bowed slightly. "Madam, please, I know I made a mistake, but I beg you, give me another chance." Mrs. Anna did not even blink. "You did not make a mistake," she said. "You disobeyed. You stole food. You left the house at night. You brought trouble to my gate. If you can do that once, you can do worse." Olivia's eyes filled again. "I didn't steal, madam. I only—" Mrs. Anna lifted her hand. "Stop talking," she said. "Leave my house." Olivia stood there for 2 seconds, like she was hoping the words would change. They did not. She turned and walked out. The gate opened with a slow, heavy sound. The guards did not offer her an umbrella. They did not help her carry her box. They just watched. Olivia stepped into the rain again, with a small box in her arms and no plan in her head. The street outside the mansion was quiet, only the sound of rain on the tar road. Headlights passed sometimes, then disappeared into the night. Olivia walked until her arms ached. Her slippers slapped the wet ground. Her clothes clung to her body. The box became heavier with every step. By the time she reached a small bus stop, her legs were weak. She sat down on the bench, hugging the box, and cried, not because she lost a job only, but because she did the right thing and still got punished. After some time, a kiki passed and stopped. The driver, an older man with a tired face, leaned out. "Madam, why are you sitting in this rain?" he asked. Olivia wiped her face quickly. I'm fine." The man looked at the box. "Where are you going?" Olivia opened her mouth, but no place came out. She had no family in Abuja. Her mother had died years ago. Her father was unknown. When she came to the city, it was because someone helped her get the maid job, and she held on to it like it was life itself. Now it was gone. The driver sighed. "Enter. I will drop you at a safe place. You can pay me small." Olivia nodded slowly and climbed in. The man dropped her near a cheap guest house where workers stayed. The room was small and smelled of damp walls, but it was shelter. Olivia paid with almost all the cash she had saved, money she kept for emergencies. Now the emergency had come. She lay on the thin mattress, listening to the rain and to her own breathing. In her mind, she saw the homeless woman again. The woman's eyes, the strange sharpness. Olivia wondered, who is she? Then Olivia remembered something worse. The woman was still at the gate, hungry, cold. Olivia sat up quickly, but she could not go back. She had been chased out. If she returned, they might call police. They might say she was trespassing. Olivia pressed her face into her pillow and whispered, "God, please help her." Morning came. The rain stopped, leaving the streets wet and shining. Olivia went outside and looked for work immediately. She moved from one compound to another. She begged security men to let her speak to madams. Some waved her away, some told her to come back later, some looked at her like she was dirty. By afternoon, her stomach was empty. She used her last money to buy a small bread and pure water. She ate slowly, like she was trying to make it last. Days turned into weeks. Olivia finally found a job washing clothes for people in a small neighborhood. It was not stable, but it helped her pay rent for a tiny room. The room had no fan. The window was small. Rats sometimes ran along the ceiling at night. Still, Olivia thanked God. But her heart was heavy. Every time she passed a rich estate, she remembered the mansion. She remembered how she used to live behind big gates, yet still had no true safety. She also remembered Mrs. Anna's face, hard, unmoved. Sometimes Olivia got angry, sometimes she cried quietly. But even in pain, Olivia did not regret helping the homeless woman. She only prayed that her kindness did not end in the woman's death. Then, one afternoon, something happened. A neighbor ran to Olivia's door and shouted, "Olivia, someone is looking for you." Olivia stepped out, confused. A black car was parked outside, clean and expensive, and a man in a suit was walking toward her room, holding a brown envelope. Olivia's heart began to beat fast again. She did not know that her life was about to change. Olivia stood still as the man in the suit walked closer. He was tall, neat, and calm. His shoes were polished. His hair was neatly cut. He did not look like someone who came to trouble poor people. "Good afternoon," he said gently. "Are you Olivia Martins?" Olivia nodded slowly. "Yes, I am." "My name is Mr. Adderwale," he said. "I am a lawyer. May I speak with you for a moment?" The word lawyer made Olivia's stomach tighten. She looked around the compound. Neighbors had started peeping from windows. Some stood outside, pretending to sweep. Olivia wiped her hands on her dress. "Please, come inside. My room is small, but—" "That's fine," Mr. Adderwale said kindly. They entered the tiny room. Mr. Adderwale looked around, but did not make any comment. He sat carefully on the only chair. Olivia sat on the edge of her bed. He placed the brown envelope on the table between them. "I have been searching for you for months," he said. "It was not easy." Olivia swallowed. "Sir, did I do something wrong?" Mr. Adderwale smiled softly. "No, you did something very right." He opened the envelope and brought out some papers. "Do you remember a rainy night," he asked, "when you helped a homeless woman outside a large mansion?" Olivia's heart skipped. "Yes," she said quietly. "I remember." "That woman's name was Anna Williams," he said. "She was not homeless. She was a billionaire." Olivia stared at him. Her mind rejected the words at first. "A billionaire?" she whispered. "Yes," he said. "She disguised herself as a beggar to test people's hearts. She wanted to see how humans treated the weak when no cameras were watching." Olivia's hands began to shake. She remembered the woman's eyes, the sharpness, the calm, the tears. "So, that night," Olivia said slowly, "she was pretending?" Mr. Adderwale nodded. "Yes. And sadly, most people failed her test. They ignored her, some insulted her, some chased her away." Olivia closed her eyes. "And me?" she asked, her voice breaking. Mr. Adderwale smiled again. "You passed." Tears rushed into Olivia's eyes. "She watched everything," he continued. "She watched you give food, water, and a blanket. She watched you kneel in the rain. She watched you get punished for your kindness." Olivia covered her mouth. "She was deeply moved," he said, "but she did not reveal herself that night. She left quietly." Olivia's chest felt tight. "Mrs. Anna," Olivia whispered, remembering the angry face of her former boss. "The woman I helped had the same name." Mr. Adderwale nodded slowly. "Yes, that is the painful part of this story. The woman you helped and the woman who fired you shared the same name, but not the same heart." Olivia's tears fell freely now. "Months after that night," Mr. Adderwale continued, "Anna Williams fell sick. Before she died, she wrote a will. In that will, she mentioned one name clearly." He slid the papers closer to Olivia. "Your name." Olivia's breath stopped. "She left you a large sum of money," he said, "enough to live comfortably, enough to start a new life." Olivia shook her head slowly. "No, sir, this must be a mistake." "It is not," he said gently. "She said you reminded her of the kind world she hoped still existed." Olivia dropped her face into her hands and cried. Not loud cries, deep ones. The kind that come from long suffering, the kind that wash pain away. Mr. Adderwale waited patiently. After some minutes, Olivia lifted her head. "Sir, what do I need to do?" "You will sign some documents," he said. "Then the money will be transferred to your account." Olivia nodded weakly. They signed the papers carefully. Before Mr. Adderwale stood up to leave, Olivia asked a question that had been burning in her heart. "Sir, what happened to her business? The billionaire woman?" Mr. Adderwale sighed. "She made bad investments," he said. "She trusted the wrong people. Her empire collapsed. By the time she died, much of what she had built was gone." Olivia felt a strange sadness. "She tested others," Olivia whispered, "but life tested her too." "Yes," the lawyer said, "life does that." When he left, Olivia sat alone in her room for a long time. Her phone buzzed. An alert message appeared. A number she had never seen before. Her hands shook as she read it. The money was real. Olivia knelt on the floor and cried again, this time with gratitude. She whispered, "Thank you for trusting me." She did not know that this gift was only the beginning of another test. The money changed Olivia's life, but it did not change her heart. She did not rush to buy expensive clothes or travel far places. She sat down quietly and planned. First, she paid her rent for 1 full year. For the first time in a long while, Olivia slept without fear of being chased out. Then she opened a small savings account and kept most of the money there. After some months, Olivia bought a small house on the edge of the city. It was not big. It did not have marble floors or gold curtains, but it was hers. The walls were painted cream. The roof did not leak. The windows opened well, letting sunlight enter every morning. Olivia cried the first night she slept there, not because of pain, but because of peace. She placed her Bible on a small table and whispered, "Thank you." With time, Olivia began to remember something that stayed in her heart. The rain, the gate, the hungry woman. She remembered how close life and death had felt that night, and she knew she could not keep the blessing to herself. So Olivia started small. She cooked extra food every weekend and shared it with people on the streets. She bought bread, water, and blankets. She listened to stories. She prayed with those who asked. Soon people began to notice. Some called her Sister Olivia. Others called her Auntie with soft heart. When the number of people grew, Olivia rented an old building and repaired it. She used the money wisely. No waste, no pride. She named it Open Hands Shelter. The shelter was simple: clean mats, hot food, clean water, kind words, and dignity. At the shelter, no one was shouted at, no one was treated like dirt. Olivia worked there every day, sleeves rolled up, smiling gently. While Olivia's life was growing, another life was falling apart. Mrs. Anna, the woman who once fired Olivia, began to lose everything. At first, people heard whispers. Her company made bad investments. She trusted the wrong partners. Banks are after her. Soon the whispers became news. Mrs. Anna's business empire collapsed. Her cars were taken. Her accounts were frozen. Her friends disappeared. The same people who once praised her power now avoided her calls. She sold her mansion. She sold her jewelry. Still, it was not enough. One morning, Mrs. Anna woke up in a small rented room, staring at a cracked ceiling. The silence hurt more than hunger. For the first time in her life, she understood fear. She tried to find help, but doors closed. Phones went unanswered. Even relatives stayed far away. Weeks passed, money finished, pride broke. One evening, Mrs. Anna walked through the city, tired and thin. Her clothes were clean but old. Her shoes were worn. Her head was low. She followed the smell of food. It led her to a simple building with a sign, "Open Hands Shelter, all are welcome." Mrs. Anna stood there for a long time. Rain began to fall again, light, steady, familiar. Her hands shook as she stepped inside. People were eating. Some laughed softly, some prayed, some cried. Then she saw her. Olivia, standing near a pot of food, smiling warmly, handing plates to people. Mrs. Anna's heart stopped. She wanted to turn and run, but hunger and shame held her feet. Olivia looked up. Their eyes met. For a moment, time froze. Olivia recognized her immediately, not by her clothes, but by her eyes. Mrs. Anna's face crumbled. She dropped her bag and fell to her knees. "I tested hearts that night," she said, her voice cracking. "Yours passed. Mine failed." The room went quiet. Olivia walked toward her slowly. She did not shout. She did not smile proudly. She simply knelt and lifted Mrs. Anna gently. "Please," Olivia said softly, "stand up. You are welcome here." Mrs. Anna sobbed. "I was cruel," she whispered. "I punished kindness, and life punished me." Olivia handed her a plate of food. "Kindness echoes, Mrs. Anna," she said calmly. "You taught me that." Mrs. Anna ate with shaking hands. That night she slept on a clean mat. For the first time in years, she slept without guards, without power, only peace. And Olivia knew this was not the end. It was another beginning. Morning light entered the shelter softly. Olivia was already awake, sweeping the floor like she always did. The smell of warm tea filled the air. Outside, birds made small sounds, and the city slowly came alive. Mrs. Anna sat on a mat near the wall, holding a cup with both hands. She looked smaller than Olivia remembered, not because of clothes, but because pride was gone. She watched Olivia work quietly, the same way she used to watch her in the mansion, only this time there was no anger in her eyes, only regret. After breakfast, Mrs. Anna stood up slowly. "Olivia," she said, her voice low, "may I speak with you?" Olivia nodded. "Of course." They stepped outside to the small yard behind the shelter. The ground was wet from last night's rain. The air felt clean. Mrs. Anna took a deep breath. "I owe you an apology," she said, "a real one. Not the kind people say to feel better." Olivia listened without interrupting. "That night," Mrs. Anna continued, "I saw you as a servant who disobeyed me. I did not see you as a human being with a heart. I was wrong." Tears filled her eyes. "I was rich," she said, "but I was poor inside. I thought money made me powerful. I thought kindness was weakness." She shook her head. "I lost everything because I forgot people." Olivia remained quiet. After a moment, she said gently, "Pain teaches lessons we refuse to learn when life is easy." Mrs. Anna nodded slowly. "I have nowhere to go," she said. "No money, no family. If you send me away, I will understand." Olivia looked at her for a long moment. Then she smiled. "You can stay," Olivia said, "if you want to work." Mrs. Anna's eyes widened. "Work?" "Yes," Olivia replied. "We clean, cook, serve, and listen here. Everyone helps." Mrs. Anna bowed her head. "I will do anything." That same day, Mrs. Anna began work. She washed plates with shaking hands. She cleaned the floor. She carried water. Her back ached. Her hands hurt. But no one shouted at her. No one insulted her. People smiled and said, "Thank you." That night, Mrs. Anna cried quietly on her mat. Not from hunger or shame, but from something she had not felt in years. Belonging. Days turned into weeks. Mrs. Anna grew stronger. She learned names. She listened to stories. She apologized to people without being asked. One afternoon, she sat beside Olivia and said softly, "I used to test hearts. Now I want to heal them." Olivia smiled. Together they grew the shelter. More beds, more food, more hands. People from the city heard about Open Hands Shelter. Some donated food, some volunteered time, some brought clothes. The shelter became a place of hope. One evening, as the sun set, Olivia and Mrs. Anna stood side by side, serving food. A young girl asked, "Auntie Olivia, who is she?" Olivia answered calmly, "She is my friend." Mrs. Anna's eyes filled with tears again, not of sadness, but of grace. She whispered, "Thank you for not becoming bitter." Olivia replied, "Kindness saved me. I won't let bitterness destroy it." Years later, the shelter expanded into a training center. People learned skills. Some found jobs. Some found families again. Mrs. Anna worked there until her hair turned fully grey. She never returned to power. She never asked for control. She found peace in service. One rainy evening, just like the night everything began, Mrs. Anna sat quietly and said, "That night I tested hearts." She looked at Olivia and smiled softly. "Yours passed, mine failed, but you gave me another chance." Olivia held her hand. "Kindness echoes," she said again. "It always comes back." And in that small shelter, where pride fell and love grew, two women proved that the greatest wealth is not money, it is mercy. What is your view about this story? Where are you watching from? If you like the story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.